pots, pans, and pioneers today. I'm going to be making Thanksgiving or Christmas cornbread dressing. So in this bowl I have 4 cups of cornmeal and 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I am using dehydrated eggs in this, but you could use 2 regular size eggs if you chose to do so. Okay, so I'm going to sprinkle some garlic powder, and this is just organic garlic powder, probably about a tablespoon. I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon of salt. You could add more salt if you want. The reason I'm not adding a lot of salt right now is because once the dressing comes out of the oven, we're going to add more seasoning, and at that point I can add salt. I'm going to sprinkle some organic tarragon. Maybe a teaspoon and teaspoon and a half of thyme. All the seasonings that you put on your turkey you would want to put in your dressing. I'm going to give it some sage, ground sage, and a little bit of Creole seasoning. And you can get this recipe at potspansandpioneers.com. I'm going to add some red bell peppers from my garden, and these are just organic red peppers, and this is mainly for color, but the red peppers offer more sweetness. And I'm also going to be adding a half a tablespoon of pure cane sugar. I like my dressing on the sweet side. And I'm just chopping in the red pepper. I'm going to add a half a cup of celery. And we're going to add 3 cups of water. So let's see. And we're just going to whisk this all together. And like I said, I'm just adding a little bit of the seasoning right now, because when it comes out of the oven we're going to add more seasoning. And you want it the consistency of pancake batter. This is just the poultry seasoning. You can find poultry seasoning in your spice aisle at your store. I buy mine from an organic store that You can even make your own. All right, I'm gonna get this poured into the pans and I'm just using a 13x9 pan. It's gonna take about 2 or 3 pans, and we're gonna bake it at 375 for about 20 minutes. And then when it comes out, we have to let it cool before we put it back into the bowl. I'm gonna wash the bowl out, and we're gonna put it back into the bowl, crumble it up, and we're gonna add the rest of the seasoning and some chicken broth. So we'll be back. Okay, I've gotten the cornbread that we made out of the oven, and I've crumbled it up in a big bowl. Well, I've washed the bowl, but the same bowl. And I'm just crumbling, making sure that it's all really loose. I'm going to sprinkle some kosher salt. I'm going to sprinkle more tarragon. And a little more poultry seasoning. Not much, I'm just sprinkling a little bit. And then I'm going to add probably a cup of seasoned breadcrumbs. And you can make these homemade, these are store-bought, but you can toast your toast with butter, cut it in cubes, and season it. And then you toast it, and then you crumble it up. So it's really, really super simple. Then I'm going to add 2 eggs to this. And then we're going to pour about 32 ounces of organic chicken broth. And it's probably going to take this much, because what you want, again, is a cornbread consistency, because we're going to rebake this for about probably 15 or 20 minutes. And I just kind of gauge it. Just pour enough to wet it all down. Because you want your cornbread dressing to be very moist. You don't want it crumbly like this. If you were going to stuff your turkey, you would want it. But this isn't really stuffing, because we're not stuffing this with anything. We're going to be just eating the dressing with gravy. And it usually takes a complete box, because your cornbread is absorbing all of the moisture. Okay. And we're just going to get that all mixed together. It still needs to be a little bit more wet, so what I've got is I take the gizzards and the turkey neck, and I put them on medium heat, salt and pepper, a little garlic powder, and I let the neck and all the gizzards and everything cook into a saucepan, and I'm going to pour that over this so we have a little bit of the turkey broth flavor in the stuffing. And obviously it has some fat in it, so it's going to really help, you know, get this really moist down. If you like gizzards, you can chop them up and put them in here as well. I don't. So I don't like the liver or the gizzards in my dressing, but you could do that. All right, we're going to pour this back into our pans that we've already used, and we're going to bake these at 350 for about, I'd say about 15 minutes, just enough for it to start getting dried out on top and moist in the middle. And then it'll be done. Okay. And this should only fit all of it into just one pan this time. We've wet it down, just it's not going to rise anymore. We haven't added anything to make it rise. So this should all fit into one 13 by 9 pan. All right, into the oven, 350 for 15, 18, even maybe 20 minutes. I have a convection oven. I always hate to say times because I don't know what your oven is. So I have a convection and it cooks faster because it cooks with air. So we'll be back once it's cooked. Okay, the dressing is out of the oven and incredibly moist. You can serve this with a turkey gravy or just plain. Thank you for joining me for this recipe. You can find a copy of the recipe on potspansandpioneers.com. And I wish you and your family a great holiday season.